Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History for December 26th. December 26th is the 360th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 361st in leap years, with 5 days remaining to the end of the year. I hope everybody had a nice Christmas. December 26th is called Boxing Day in some places around the world and occurs on December 26th unless December 26th falls on a Sunday. In that case, Boxing Day would then occur on the Monday, December 27th. Boxing Day may have gotten its name from a tradition wherein tradespeople, employees, and so on might receive presents or gratuities, a Christmas box, from their customers or employers. This Christmas box might be in the form of a box that would contain gifts, bonuses, and possibly food. Boxing Day. Today's word is fractious. We came across the word fractious the other day as we were talking about something else, and I made a note to add it to the list for Word of the Day. Fractious is an adjective that means irritable or quarrelsome, difficult to control or unruly, as in bickering like fractious children or fractious resistance groups. Fractious may also mean tending to be troublesome, like a fractious crowd, quarrelsome or irritable, like a fractious political campaign. The word fractious comes to us from Latin, Indo-European before that, a word that meant to break. Earliest documented use of the word fractious is in the 1720s. Fractious. And remember, if you have a word you'd like us to examine in this Word of the Day segment, drop it in the comments. We'll take a look at it. And with that, the first president of the United States, George Washington, had intended to retire upon the conclusion of his presidential term, serving one term. After that, he certainly could have followed in the pattern of kings and emperors before him, and as career politicians in the current century have done, and clung tight to that office, but he recognized the value of handing it off. He retired for real, stepped out of politics, and went off to live on his farm. In December of 1799, he took ill and passed on December 14, 1799, at the age of 67. And now, on December 26, 1799, a contemporary of George Washington's, Henry Lee III, eulogized George Washington. And this is where we first hear George Washington described as first in war, first in peace, and first in the hearts of his countrymen. George Washington. On December 26, 1898, Marie and Pierre Curie announced the isolation of radium. This may be a little bit of a surprise to you, as it was to me, but radium is part of the group known as alkaline earth metals, and it has a silvery white metallic appearance. In air, it reacts with nitrogen rather than oxygen, which causes it to form a black surface layer similar to tarnish on silver, but it's not oxidation since it's a reaction to nitrogen. Radium's atomic number is 88, and all isotopes of radium are radioactive. In nature, radium is found in uranium and to a lesser degree in thorium ores. It's dangerous for a variety of effects in everyday life, but radium does have some uses in nuclear medicine. Now, I'm pretty sure we've mentioned this before, but on December 26, 1919, Babe Ruth of the Boston Red Sox was sold to the New York Yankees. He was not happy about the move, and Boston went from winning 5 of the first 15 World Series titles to thus establishing the curse of the Bambino superstition. Babe was quite a player, and he would go on to be one of the first 5 Baseball Hall of Fame inaugural members. Superstition or not, it would be 86 years before the Boston Red Sox would win another World Series. By the way, I don't think that they actually sell live humans, but more likely they sell the contracts of the players. Feel free to correct me in the comments if I've misunderstood the concept. Wendy Mary Beckett was born in 1930. Born in South Africa, she was raised in Scotland. She joined the Sisters of Notre Dame de Namur in 1946 when she will have been about 16. She was sent to England where she completed her novitiate and lived in a convent. In those days, a strict code of silence was observed. That's changed now. In the mid-60s, the requirement of a strict code of silence was lifted. She became a teacher and taught English and Latin until about 1970 when she developed health problems and returned to England. Sister Wendy had spent many years translating medieval Latin scripts, and in 1980 she decided to pursue art. Her first book, Contemporary Women Artists, was published in 1988. From there, she went on to publish Sister Wendy Contemplates St. Paul in Art in 2008 and Encounters with God in Quest of the Ancient Icons of Mary in 2009, and The Iconic Jesus and the Christ Journey in 2011. Along the way, she made friends with fortuitous connections, including English television chef Delia Smith, who drove Sister Wendy to her medical appointments and around the country while she was researching her books. One day, there happened to be a film crew in a museum who overheard Sister Wendy talking about art, and they asked to videotape her. She agreed, and this culminated in the 1992 debut of Sister Wendy's Odyssey. Sister Wendy passed away on December 26, 2018, at the age of 88. Now, if you're curious about how she discusses art, I've placed a link in the description, or you can type Sister Wendy in the YouTube search. Lots of examples will pop up for you. I was unable to find a link to a whole video series of Sister Wendy. Many, if not all, of her books are available on Amazon and most likely through your favorite bookstore or library. Simply search the term Sister Wendy. Thank you to @TRamsire for suggesting the topic of Sister Wendy. As I often do, I'll include a link to a previous episode for December 26th, just in case you're curious about what else I might have talked about. Now, I know I've talked about several Beatles songs, and I'm not sure that I've talked about I Want to Hold Your Hand yet. I was a child in grade school when this came out, and at that age and at that time, if a boy were to say to a girl that he wanted to hold her hand, then you knew he liked her a lot, especially once that song came out. Written by John Lennon and Paul McCartney, I Want to Hold Your Hand was recorded in October of 1963, released on December 26, 1963. I Want to Hold Your Hand hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 by February 1st of 1964, where it held for 7 weeks, only to be unseated by their song She Loves You. I Want to Hold Your Hand became the Beatles' best-selling single worldwide, selling more than 12 million copies. I Want to Hold Your Hand by the Beatles. Link in the description. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with a link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoyed this series, check out the playlist that contains these videos, and I'll put a link to that in the description. That description lives on YouTube, so for other platforms, I'll include a link to my blog page that's called No Really. You can also find me on Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey. All those links in that description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again and all. See you next time. This is the birthday.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
I wasn't talking to you. John, are you kidding me? Okay, hold on. We got to make that be quiet. Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History for... Oh, where's your microphone? Okay, we don't want to say the same thing twice. Oh, get your microphone. What is it with you and this microphone? Okay, here we go. Okay, we are still recording. That's great. Okay. How about that? We'll have a lot to edit today. Cacophony is a sound. Cacophony is a noun that you got to read it the right way. Let's start over. It's 8 o'clock, so all of the reminders are going to be dinging. I forgot to turn those off. Okay, stop it. It's 8 o'clock. Don't alienate people who can be helpful to you. Flinging happiness all over the place. Alrighty, back to work. I think we got it this time.